guys, welcome to Super Bill Sews. My name's Sarah. Thanks for joining me today for another Friday Sews. I've made it 2 weeks in a row, go me. That is my best effort of Friday Sews so far this year, which is a bit pathetic really, isn't it? But there you go. It is Friday the 28th of March, I think. And for my school, it was the last day today, so I'm still doing all of my private work next week, but my busiest days are over as of tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll be doing my usual full Saturday teaching, and then next week it's going to be a lot quieter, which is great. As always, there is a long list of things to be doing, so I won't be relaxing too much, but I'm hoping I'll be able to relax a bit. I've definitely felt this week that my sojo has been reinvigorated after visiting the Stitch Festival. It was just really inspiring to see so many sort of garments in the wild and sewers in the wild. And for the first time in ages, I just came back and I was like, oh, I really feel like just sewing for fun. And I'm wearing a new garment. So this is the Tiana Herring Juniper Dress. Now I cut this out weeks and weeks, it might even be a month or two ago, but a little while ago, and then I had to prioritize sewing some other things, so it just sort of got shoved down the list. But when I was at the Stitch Festival last week, some of you may have noticed a gorgeous leopard print dress in amongst the Fabric Godmother model team, and it was the beautiful Liz who was wearing an amazing Juniper dress in the Fabric Godmother leopard print denim that was super popular. I actually have some of it here, and she looked amazing in it, and it completely inspired me to come home and sew up the version that I'd had cut out, which is what I've done. So I've taken some pictures as well, so I'll pop some pictures up here so that you can get an idea of the whole look, and I thought I would just talk you through the process of making it. So I had been warned that it's quite short. There is a like a sort of hacked version that's midi length, that's longer, and I think you can do it with like a two-way zip. Cute, risky, but still cute. But I found the length okay, but I am quite short. So if you are, I'm just under 5'4", so I would say for me it's like as short as I'm happy wearing out of the house. If you're any taller than that, you might just want to lengthen it a bit. The hem, I'm going to just flash my hem at you, here we go, is done using you can just do a normal hem, but because it's quite short, I've hemmed it using a facing, and this is, it's not even a facing, what am I saying, bias binding. So this is bias binding that came in my advent calendar from Sequin Girly Sam, so it's like homemade, and I thought it went really nicely with the dress. So that is the hem, so I'm just flashing you, sort of. And I really like that finish. It's got this lovely zip. I did end up going with, because I bought a darker zip at the Stitch Festival, a continuous zip, but I ended up deciding that actually this one, so much of the pink is covered that it's not too bad to use, and it was just easier at the time than me sussing out how to finish the continuous zip. So the continuous zip is back in the bag for a future project. The fabric is a jumbo cord. It's a bit, I actually picked this, I remember really vividly what I picked this for, to make a Dorothy, no, not a Dorothy, oh my gosh, what is it called? There is a chore jacket that I modelled for Sew Over It. The name has completely escaped me, but I basically wanted to make a copy of that. I've now got a different fabric to make a copy of that, which is how I ended up making this. Could not tell you where I bought this fabric from. I picked it because just beforehand I had made the Vivian Coach, which is another Sew Over It pattern, in a shade called Sangria, and every time I wore it, everyone was like, oh, that is your colour. So this actually, on screen, I think it looks more like Ready maybe, but it's like a really deep pink almost in real life. It's gorgeous. It feels, I maybe made it for the wrong season, because obviously it's getting a bit warmer now, but I think for spring it's okay, and then for summer I'll have to put it away. Then I reckon I can bring it out again in the autumn. A little bit more about the pattern. Sorry, I'm just rambling on as always. This was the first pattern from Tiana Herring, and it's got to be one of the best first patterns from an indie designer. I mean, it just feels very contemporary, I think. And she really focuses on size inclusivity. There's a nice thing where, so the sizes are in letters, but they are, instead of going from smallest to largest, they're from largest to smallest, which I've never seen before, and is a really nice touch. Instructions are very good. I like, with the construction, she basically at the beginning gets you to do all of the little like niggly things, so sort of stay stitching and interfacing if you're doing that, and pressing things over, and it's lots of prep work, which is quite a lot to do all in one go, but actually it then means that once you get to sewing, it comes together really quickly, really pleasingly. It's got sort of a dropped shoulder, the zip front, the elasticated waist. That was the only step that I found a little bit tricky, because you basically have to lay your back and front pieces out and draw these lines straight across, and I didn't have a surface big enough to have them all laid out at once. So I had to wing it a bit, but it worked out okay. But I would say you do want to have like a big flat surface just to make sure that's really accurate. And then other than that, it's just really standard things. This is like how you put together a shirt collar. The zip is not particularly challenging. It's just how you put a zip in normally. The sleeves are, so it's slightly a dropped shoulder, like relaxed fit. And you don't have to even gather the sleeves. You have to like ease them a little bit in at the sleeve head, but other than that, it was really, really easy. So I loved making this. I'm already planning more. I sort of want to copy the leopard print version. I sort of want like a plain denim version. I'm like, could I make a longer version for work? Yeah, I'm really excited to have found another new fab pattern. Again, because of the elasticated waist, that makes the fitting easy. It's quite an oversized fit, but then the elasticated waist brings it all in. And overall, it's just a hit, guys. I love it. So that's what I've been sewing this week. I haven't really done much more. I've been making some plans for what to sew. And as I'm so I'm half Easter holidays next week, and then I have 2 weeks more or less off. I should actually have quite a lot of sewing time and quite a lot of vlogging time. So I'm sort of thinking what I'd like to do with that, and I have a few ideas. I'm also giving a recital down in Devon in April. As always, because I don't sing as often anymore, because I'm not performing as much, I get a lot more stressed about performing. Whereas when I was singing full time, it's like you're performing so often that you don't really have time to get stressed about it. So feeling a bit stressed. Solo recital, it's a really long time since I've done one. It's a favour to my friend John, who came and played for my fundraising concert earlier in March. And yeah, I'm sort of looking forward to it, but I've got a lot of work to do, and I am also stressed, and I also don't know what I'm going to wear. So it's a daytime recital, so I will probably not go full length. And we've sort of got like an English country garden theme almost, so I'm thinking like a garden party style dress, maybe a peony. I had my peony that I made for my friend's wedding. I'll put a picture of it here, that I really wanted to wear, but there was an incident in the washing machine. It was ripped right down the middle, which I'm a bit gutted about. So I've got to work out what I'm going to do with that, because it's a really good dress. So I need to... It's just a tricky mend without just replacing the whole front bodice, and I don't have any more of that fabric left, so I'd have to try and source some more of it. And I don't know. Anyway, I digress. So if I sort that out beforehand, I might wear that, but I don't think I'll be fixing that before. So I need to have a look through my wardrobe. And yeah, as I sort of mentioned last week, I'm going to be focusing a lot on workwear because of that I'm covering a lot of teaching in school for next term. And I want to have lots of options that I can just chuck on, because the kids notice when you wear the same thing too many times. I have like 2 or 3 things each season that I just rotate, but I feel like I need at least 5 if I'm going to be in school, at least one for each day of the week, for if I'm going to be in school for longer. So anyway, again, I digress. My next thing that I was going to share with you was I made a little video on Wednesday because my mum had brought me something back from my grandma's house. And I'll explain what it is in the video, but I'm just going to cut to that now, as that was another little exciting event of the week. Right, so if I've edited this properly, you will have heard my intro and chatter for Friday Sews. I'm actually filming this bit on Wednesday because I have just popped to my parents' house to teach for the afternoon, and my mum had bought some stuff from my grandma's house for me, and I thought they were things you might be interested in, but I don't think I can fit them in my car to take back today because I have the dog with me, but I wanted to talk about them on Friday Sews. So I'm going to film now and then I'll add it into my Friday Sews video. So my grandma was an amazing sewer. She was evacuated to live with a really amazing seamstress during World War II, and who I believe taught her to sew. I mean, I think she could probably sew a bit already because I think you were sort of taught that more in that time, but she became like amazing with different needlecrafts because of where she was evacuated to. She had a very happy evacuation, and we'll happily tell you about it if you're interested. But yeah, so she's always been really, really skilled in this area. And there are a couple of things that have just come to me from her, which is very exciting. So one is a cushion that she has. I'm not sure if this is maybe like tapestry or something. I'm not sure, but how beautiful is that? And so detailed. I remember her having lots of things like this around her house when we were younger. And I sort of didn't register at the time that she had actually made them all. Do you know what I mean? They were just like the things you have around grandma's house. But now that I have done a very tiny amount of hand stitching, I can appreciate how much work goes into making something as beautiful as this. So this is definitely going to go into my sewing room, on my lovely sofa. It's got some nice pinks and greens in, which is sort of the colour theme of the room. And that's very special. It's got this lovely rose. Is it a rose? I don't know, floral back. But that's one thing. The other thing I'm going to have to take you off the stand for. So when I came by the other week, my mum said, sorry, excuse all the muck on the floor. That's not what she said. My mum said, "What do you think of the table?" And I was like, I mean, it's nice, it's a table. And she said, "Have you looked inside it?" And I was like, no. But today I have looked inside it, and it's a secret sewing table. How cool is that? So it's still got lots of bits and bobs in, like my grandma's stuff. There's lots of needles and pins and bobbins and other bits and bobs. There are some little bee patches here, which is particularly poignant because my grandma used to keep bees a long time ago. So bees always make me think of her. Yeah, so I need to sort of go through. Obviously don't want to like do too much to it, but I'm going to clear out what's in here, see what's still usable. Some things might not be, so I'll have a little look through. And then I'm going to work out what I'm going to store in there. How exciting. And it goes right down here. It goes, I mean, really far down. Like really far down. So there's absolutely loads of space. How exciting. I can't wait to add this to my sewing room. So how cool is that? A little sewing table. My sewing room's quite full, partly because the sofa bed, we had it out for a guest and it's now broken, so I can't fold it back in till the guy comes to mend it, which is in a week and a half. So that's taking up a lot of space right now. But yeah, that's going to definitely come to my sewing room. I'm thinking of repapering the inside of it, because I don't want the wood's like a bit exposed and splintery. So I'm thinking I'm just going to like repaper the inside of it. I might have some, this is probably too large scale, but I might have some of this left. So I might think like wallpaper inside might be good, mightn't it? 'Cause it's a bit hardy, or wrapping paper, as long as it's like a good one, good quality one. Yeah, so I'm not going to touch it too much because it's like an antique, do you know what I mean? So but I think my grandma had papered it on the inside in the first place, And yeah, as I said, it's all sort of wearing away, so I'm just gonna like repaper the inside and then work out what I'm going to store in it. What would you store in there? I'd love to know. Anyway, that is me done for another week. I have some vlog plans for next week, so I'm hoping to have a mix of things out for you if I get on top of my filming. And hopefully I'm going to get lots sewn up in the next few weeks as well. So my Friday sews might be a bit more regular before they probably become a bit more irregular again when term kicks off, but let's see how we go. I hope you have a lovely weekend ahead. It looks like it's going to be a really nice sunny one, and that you get some sewing time and time to yourself. Don't know if you heard that, Nala's squeaking a toy in the background, which is my cue to go. So thanks so much. Sorry, she's coming up the stairs squeaking her toy. Can you hear that? That's definitely my sign that she's like, I've had enough, come and play with me. So off I go. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye.